Many people are never going to get lean, and these are the 5 reasons why people will never, ever, ever get to the body fat that they want to get to. The first reason is people can't stick to a certain routine, right? They've set this routine for themselves and they can't stick to it. So essentially, how are you going to get to your goal if you can't follow the process? You could keep on dreaming about the outcome, right? Dream, 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 but you got to do the work. And when you're designing your program, you're designing your routine, you have to be honest with yourself and you have to say, what am I going to be able to stick to? And what are the things that are going to hold me back from reaching my goal? So, for example, myself, I work out 3 times a week. I work out 3 times a week because that's all I can commit to during the week. I have other things going on, and honestly, I just want to be in the gym 3 times a week. If I set myself a 5, 6 day routine, I won't be able to stick to it because number one, maybe I don't enjoy it that much, or maybe my schedule just doesn't allow for it. Maybe I could force myself to do it, right? Go at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, but I'll have to be doing that majority of the week, and that's just something I don't want to do. The same thing goes with nutrition. A lot of people will design a meal plan for themselves and they can't even stick to it, right? It's like they're eating foods that they really don't enjoy. And I try to advocate eat what you actually like to eat. Like a lot of people just like eat whatever, their favorite influencer is eating, when in reality, you need to figure out what you like to eat. You should already know off the top of your head what you like to eat and continue doing that. That doesn't mean you can't add things to your diet or you can't try new things, right? We want to make sure that our diet is well balanced. You're getting the correct macronutrients, calories, fiber intake, all of these different components you want to make sure you're including in your diet. But your diet also is not built overnight, right? Same as your workout routine. There can be little changes made over time. But the main point I'm trying to drive home here is try to do the thing you actually like to do so that you could adhere to it for the long run. The second reason that people will never get lean is because it's just not important to them. A lot of people have this thing in their head where, like, I'll just start next week, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start in a month when things are good. When are things going to ever be perfect? When are the circumstances going to ever be perfect for you to go and pursue, a body transformation? It's never going to be perfect. That's why I think it's important to learn this skill when things are busy. When things are busy and you can manage to take care of your physique, man, you're golden. Like that is literally the key to success when it comes to transforming your body. You have to know how to, again, design a routine that allows you to continue, to drive towards your goals, regardless of what the circumstances are in your life. Obviously, I understand everybody, you know, can have a certain circumstance, something terrible can happen, God forbid. But again, you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're able to stick to it at least 90-95% of the time. Things happen in life, and I get that, but you have to make sure you pick something out that you can actually adhere to, right? And again, that kind of ties in with the first point. But you also got to make this important. Just like I said in the second point, you got to make this like really, really important. If this is something you truly want, like I want to feel good, I want to, be able to run when I'm 60, I want to have, a strong body, strong mind, right? You got to be willing to kind of go through, the process of going to the gym and, lifting heavy, lifting with intensity. You have to be willing to go through that process. And there's just no way around it, right? Obviously, you have other, you know, drugs out there and all kinds of stuff that allow you to do that. I'm not going to go too deep into that because I don't really understand too much about it. But nothing is going to replace hard work, whether you're taking supplements or not, right? You have to show up and do the work. And you have to make that goal important to yourself. The third reason that you're not getting to where you want to get to is maybe your environment. Maybe your environment is not conducive to your goals. Maybe you hang around people that just want to eat bad food all the time, right? And the more you hang around people like that, the less likely you're going to be able to reach your goal. So my advice is try to limit the amount of times that you maybe see that person or that group of individuals, because if those individuals are enabling you to continue those bad habits, maybe you just need to take a step away from it, right? It's no disrespect to anybody, but you gotta make yourself the focus, and that's not a selfish thing, right? To say, hey, I want to get healthier, I want to improve my body, I want to feel good. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's not a selfish thing, right? So whoever tells you that, that's nonsense. It's not selfish. The fourth reason that people won't ever get lean, and this is an underrated one, personally, I think it's sleep. A lot of people just don't get enough sleep. And you might be like, what does sleep have to do with getting in shape? Well, I'll tell you what, and this is just personal, this is not scientifically backed, I'm just speaking from my own experience. When I'm well rested, I'm able to get on with my day so much better. So much better, right? I think that when I'm well rested, I get a good 8 or maybe 7 hours of sleep. I'm motivated for the day. And yes, obviously, you don't want motivation to be your crutch for you to kind of continue your goals, but nonetheless, it's a valuable tool or like asset for you to continue to succeed. And a lot of people just neglect it. A lot of people want to have long nights out, or have restless nights, like just continue to do work. You might be that kind of individual, but your sleep is important, and it's going to be conducive to your goals. So get your sleep in, go to bed a little bit earlier, and that way you start the following day fresh. And the last reason that people don't ever get in shape is because they're not looking long term, right? People don't want to look long term. People want something, or the physique really quick, and then when they don't see the results that they want, they give up. They could have the perfect routine in place, the perfect diet, perfect training program, everything like that, but they just want to give up because they're like, I'm not getting the result that I want to get. And everybody goes through that. You go through plateaus, or like dips in progress, right? It happens from time to time. And the best thing you can do at that point is to either double down or look at your plan and see what component you need to modify within your plan, right? You got to take the proactive approach. And most of the time, it's usually just doubling down on what you're doing. Just saying, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing, give it a little bit more time. If something is truly not moving, then I'll switch up the component that I need to switch up in order to see further progress. A lot of people just want something in 2-3 months. And, it's just sometimes unrealistic, especially, depending on your starting point. Like, some people are just kind of oblivious to what their starting point is. And I think you need to do a true assessment of where you are with your physique, right? And be realistic with your timeline. Because, yeah, you maybe can't do a lot in 2-3 months, but you could do a lot in a year. If you give yourself a year, you would be extremely surprised how much you can accomplish within a year. And again, people just compare themselves to other, influencers or whatever online, and they get caught up in that BS, when in reality, you gotta kind of just shift yourself away from that and say, hey, I gotta assess myself. I can't compare myself to somebody else. Somebody else has, had a different road. Maybe they have other supplements that they're using. Yes, it doesn't take away that they work hard, but their journey is different nonetheless compared to your journey. So stick to your lane. Don't compare yourself, and be honest with your timeline, right? So that you could stick to your journey long term. So that's a little quick video on the, why some people will never get lean. And I think those are the components or reasons people need to think about. If you're truly in the camp of like, I can't get lean, you're like in despair, you need to think about those components or, those reasons, and start possibly rewiring the way you're thinking, right? Just changing your mindset and having a more positive outlook on, a physique transformation or just, the overall journey. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow for more.